I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome back to school and to our wellness video lessons. We're so excited to be back. We are going to continue our lessons focusing on mental health education. My name is Catherine Williams and I'm the Director of Mental Health and Behavioral Supports. We want these videos to provide you with a better understanding of the importance of learning about mental health and to give you tools to help you deal with the various stressors you experience daily. Throughout the lessons, we are also going to focus on resiliency, and specifically its 11 characteristics. Resiliency means having the skills and characteristics needed to help overcome any challenge. Okay, let's get started. Before we dive in, we want to establish a few ground rules for our classrooms. As we present our topics, these ground rules will help us have productive and respectful discussions as well as safe learning environments within our classrooms. Our first ground rule is that we should all listen with an open mind. We need to respect each other's beliefs and opinions even if we do not agree. We will avoid personal stories. It is okay to ask questions and to share information with the class. However, we want to be sure to leave individual names out of the stories or questions. Next, we will also be supportive of one another. We will not tease or make fun of anyone or anything that is said in this class. We will listen when someone is speaking and only one person will speak at a time. We will be respectful. Our last and most important ground rule is that whatever is shared in this room stays in this room. This is a safe space to speak and ask questions. What is said in this room should not be gossiped about later in the hallways, cafeterias, classrooms, or on social media. However, please know that we want you to discuss with your parents or guardians the material that is presented in our videos. It is important to note that if a student discloses harmful behavior or potential harmful behavior to any adult, that adult is required by law to report that behavior. We're going to begin our lesson by defining and talking about mental health. What does it mean to be mentally healthy? Teachers, please pause the video now and allow for student response. Those were some great examples. People who are mentally healthy are able to respond to everyday challenges in healthy and positive ways. It is important to remember that everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes we meet hard days and challenges. You should be patient with yourself when trying new things. Our level of positive mental health is determined by how well we respond to these challenges and obstacles. It can be related to perseverance. Perseverance is one of the characteristics of resiliency I mentioned a few minutes ago. What is perseverance? It means not giving up. It is continuing to try even when things are hard. We are now going to watch a video. Meet Ariana and her story demonstrating perseverance to help overcome her cancer diagnosis.
Hello, I'm Ariana Ottavianelli. I'm from Bettendorf, Iowa, and I'm on the swim team here at FSU. I started swimming when I was 6 years old. I started swimming because My brother was swimming and so was my cousin, so I looked up to them. I had committed to Florida State my junior year of high school. I was super excited and pumped to get here. 5 days before I was supposed to attend Florida State University, I got diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was all very unexpected and very hard to process. I got admitted into the hospital, the University of Iowa Children's Hospital, where I went through 12 rounds of chemotherapy there. I contacted my FSU coaches here and my teammates. It was automatic support from them too. There was another girl that went to my high school who had got diagnosed with cancer. So it was very nice to be in communication with her to kind of guide me along the process. To this day, it still is hard to process that I am a cancer survivor. No one would ever, I never would have thought that I would have been the one that had cancer. But here I am today and just showing how I've overcome such a huge health issue, and I'm still at the D1 level of athletics. Just the ability to even get back inside the pool was just really hard. I tried to swim during chemotherapy, but it didn't last long. I just simply could not get enough energy to get inside the pool and start working out, so it was a lot of stress on me to be able to get back to the level that I was before and to be able to be on this team. Grit for me was not an overnight process. It was day by day, week by week, month by month. I came inside the pool 20 plus hours a week, working really hard to gain back the muscles in the weight that I had lost during chemotherapy treatment. And due to grit, I've been able to persevere over these hard challenges that I've been faced with. Every single day you need to wake up with a positive attitude, take it day by day, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. You have the power to be resilient. You have the power to persevere.
Wow, Ariana is an inspiring example of resilience and using perseverance to not give up and face her challenges. Can you think of some examples of common or even not so common challenges you face? Can you also think of a time when you used perseverance to help? Teachers, please pause the video now to allow several students to share their examples. Thank you. Those were some great examples. Some examples you mentioned may have included family relationships, friendships, and school pressures. Relationships take a lot of work. Sometimes we forget that. Sometimes they can be happy and fun, while other times they can be quite challenging. What about balancing all of your activities, including school, after-school activities, and home life? Have you ever found it difficult to positively handle this balance? What about exams? Do you ever feel stressed out about an upcoming exam? Or did you forget about that quiz or test until you got to school this morning? How did you handle that stress? Did you wait until the last minute to study, or did you make a study plan? Is anyone in your class new to the school? That can be stressful, leaving friends behind and not knowing anyone in a new place. Sometimes athletes feel that pressure too. Have you ever felt anxiety or pressure for an upcoming sporting event? Did you forget the game plan or parts of your uniform that morning? How did you deal with that? Those were just a few examples of some challenges students may face. What examples of perseverance did you include? Possibly you discussed persistently studying until you make the grade you want, or practicing hard after school for the place on the team you earned. Our goal is to help you develop healthy ways to cope with these situations. Do you feel you handle stressors positively? How we respond to these challenges is influenced by our core beliefs and values. In other words, how we see and think about ourselves, the world, and others. Other times, our reactions can be influenced by the way our brain is wired. What does that mean? Well, our brain develops, we sometimes call that wires, as we grow. Our brain is not fully developed until we are in our early 20s. This development is influenced by our life events and situations. We learn how to respond to situations based on this too. We will talk about this more in upcoming videos. Does anyone know what the word stigma means? Teachers, please pause the video now and allow students time to answer the question. Stigma can be a hard word to define, and you did a great job coming up with a definition. Stigma can be defined as a negative and often unfair social attitude towards a person or group of people that leads the general society to reject, discriminate against, or place shame on people with mental illness. Let's break that down a little further. In other words, stigma is a negative and unhealthy attitude towards people with mental health illness or issues that can cause others to treat them unfairly. Students, after your teacher pauses the video, discuss with your neighbor how you think the media influences the stigma on mental health. Teachers, please pause the video now to allow students to respond to the question. Thanks, everyone. Those were some great responses. You may have discussed that some people are afraid to seek help because of how the media portrays those with mental illness. It often shows someone with mental illness as being unpredictable and dangerous with little possibility of recovery or rehabilitation. Typically, this is not the case for an individual with a mental health illness or challenge. With proper treatment and client compliance, most people can live normal, healthy lives. The media also often shows someone with a mental illness as being extremely violent or aggressive or even criminals, when in reality, the people with the mental health illnesses are more likely to be a victim of a violent crime rather than the assailant. The media also promotes the belief that sometimes people with mental health illnesses cannot heal or cannot be helped. This is not true. People can heal and can live happy, fulfilling lives. The media's perpetuation of the mental illness stigma only creates further isolation and incorrect perceptions of those living with mental illness. Also, sometimes we think that when we're suffering with something, no one will understand, or there just isn't anyone out there who can really help. But the reality is that sometimes we just need a little extra assistance. We just need to ask for help and information on how to cope and help our brain heal despite the negative message sent by the media. Did you know that 1 in 5 people will experience a mental illness? We want these people to feel comfortable to ask for help and support. Watch this video about mental health stigma.
Thoughts scare you or make life tough. Sometimes it feels like no one else in the world has those thoughts or feelings. No one seems to know how difficult it is to deal with your feelings. And it's not easy to share your deepest secrets. You might think something is wrong with you. Or you might worry what other people think. And all of that makes your thoughts and feelings worse. Our culture has created this environment of shame. Until the 1960s, society sent people away if they had challenges managing their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Over time, we learned that we didn't have to be afraid. We learned how to help people get better. We became hopeful. But there are remnants of those images in our culture today, which is why some people still feel uncomfortable talking about it. The stigma has taken new forms too. With more access to more people all the time, it can seem like the world is telling us it's not okay to be anything but perfect. The truth is, everyone has thoughts or feelings that can be hard to deal with. So why do we make it so difficult on ourselves by judging others who could be going through the same challenges we are? What if, instead of seeing labels, we saw people who are struggling and could be there for them so they didn't feel so alone? What if we looked past our fear of mental health and started to talk about it in a constructive way? What if, as a society, we used empowering words and healthy images to help people feel supported? Maybe then more of us could feel comfortable telling others when we're having a hard time. Maybe more people would get the help they need. And maybe one day we won't have to talk separately about mental health and physical health, but just health. The truth is, Each of us has the power to change our culture. Will you join us? Share this video with a kid, your neighbor, a friend, and help us break the stigma of mental health.
Although we have made much progress in reducing the stigma associated with mental health, we still have improvements to make in terms of getting people the help they need while treating them with dignity and respect. So you can see that the media plays a very important role in how we see mental illnesses and disorders. Okay, while working with your partner again, talk about what you can do to help reduce the stigma that is attached to mental health. Teachers, please pause the video now to allow students to respond to the question. Good job. Some ideas you may have discussed could include learning about mental health challenges, informing ourselves with facts rather than opinions, and offering to help and support. Informing ourselves with facts rather than opinions helps to reduce negative stereotypes. You can also change the way that people view mental health by changing how you speak. For example, instead of using words like unbalanced, mental, or unstable, we can refer to a person as someone experiencing extreme sadness, anxiousness, or even worry. Remember our see something, say something? Speak up when you hear someone say something negative about a person with mental health challenges. Tell an adult, and maybe tell the person making the comments that the comments are hurtful and offensive. Please remember and get the word out that it is okay to talk about mental health. The more we talk about mental health, the more we are fighting the stigma by establishing that mental health challenges are common. When we have these conversations, we reduce the shame and stigma associated with these feelings. In later videos, we will discuss more about mental health illnesses and issues in more depth. We will also share ways to cope with your feelings, emotions, and situations. Our relaxation activity for today is called box breathing. First, sit comfortably in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Then, close your eyes, picture a square or a box in your mind, and breathe in through your nose while counting slowly to 4. Feel the air enter your lungs. Hold your breath while slowly counting to 4. Begin to slowly exhale for 4 seconds. Then repeat this 4 times. This is a great way to help your mind relax while experiencing one of your everyday challenges. We hope you learned from today's lesson. If you would like to continue this discussion outside of class, we invite you to talk with your teachers, parents, or guardians and ask them how they think mental health stigma impacts families and communities. Use what we've discussed today in class as part of your conversation. Today's wellness video lesson and activities were developed by our district licensed mental health professionals. Remember, we want you to know that it's okay to speak with someone if you feel you need some help or support. Teachers are available, and you can always see your school counselor or speak to your parents or guardian. We hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and we look forward to seeing you for our next wellness video.